Hey everybody, welcome back to In Bed with a Millennial. I'm the Millennial, Javeda Bay, and this is my bed. So, it is the last Monday of Masturbation May. And that means that we're coming to the close of our month-long talk all about pleasure. And so I want to leave you with this. Pleasure practices, maybe? Like, how do we implement them? What are they? Girl, give me more. That's what we're here for today. We're talking all about pleasure practices because just because Masturbation May is ending doesn't mean that the good times have to stop. They can continue on and on and on, and I'm going to help you to make that so. So, first things first, Javay, what is a pleasure practice? Well, I actually first learned about pleasure practices or pleasure rituals from Afrosexology and my good friend Isabella Frappier. Shout out to them for always putting me on to the good stuff. But it is basically when you intentionally curate a pleasurable plan of action or intentionally set aside time for pleasurable activities. And that can mean a world of things. It doesn't necessarily just have to mean masturbation. It can be whatever you find pleasurable. If you're like, you know what? I just need to move my body. I need to dance. I need to have a little solo dance party in the living room. Pleasure practice. That can be that. Or if it's like, you know what? I need to go get me some gelato and feel like I'm in the streets of Florence, Italy in a nice summer day, like living my best life. That could be a pleasure practice. Or it could be, I'm going to pull out all my favorite toys. I'm going to turn on my favorite sexy music. And I am going to treat me like I deserve to be treated. That can be a pleasure practice. So a pleasure practice can be anything and everything you want it to be. But it should totally be intentional. That's what a pleasure practice is. It is an intentional thing that you are like, this is what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it. That makes it a pleasure practice. So why should you have a pleasure practice? Because it is actually carving out the time to be like, you know what? I'm going to do something I enjoy. I'm going to do something that brings me happiness, something that I find pleasurable. Because how often do we actively make time for those things? Not often in this capitalistic society. So pleasure practices are a great way to actually push all that bull crap away and step into your existence and embody yourself as the pleasurable, loving, livable, exciting person that you are. Also, because it makes your pleasure intentional. Instead of just like stumbling upon something that's pleasurable, you're like, no, I know that I find this pleasurable. So I'm going to make the time for it because it brings me pleasure when all the other things that I got to do throughout the day don't necessarily do that. And lastly, pleasure practices can be forms of self-care depending on how you look at it, how you label it, or what exactly you're doing. So why would you not want to practice more self-care? We need self-care. Look at the world. We need self-care. So maybe think about creating your own pleasure practice. How do you do that, you ask? Well, first things first. If you're like, I don't even know where to begin, I want you to take some time, sit down, just write out a list of all the things that you find pleasurable or relaxing. That can be freaking dancing in your living room, taking a bubble bath, going for a walk outside, riding your bike, which you haven't done in ages, picking up a new hobby, learning to crochet, riding a skateboard, whatever it looks like. Or it could be your full out 3-hour, I'm a masturbate by myself, live my best life. That could be on your list. But I want you to write out that list and then keep that list handy when you're like, all right, this week I'm going to introduce my pleasure ritual, my pleasure practice. Go through that list. Be like, what do I want to do this week? You know what? Taking a bubble bath sounds delightful. Do that. Put that in. Then the next step is to schedule it. Actually, intentionally schedule it. Mark off a time in your planner. Put it in your phone. Set a reminder. However you want to go about it. But actually make the time for that for it to actually come to fruition. And then just go do it. Go do it in all its glory, whatever it looks like. If that is full in the bathtub all the way up with bubbles, do it. If it is eating the entire pint of Ben & Jerry's, do it. If it is just massaging your own feet, do it. But do it. Schedule it, make the time, and then go do it. And then come back and tell me yo, Javay, that was amazing. That was just, chef's kiss, remarkable. And I'll be like, and this is why we have pleasure practices. And if you're like, I still don't know where to start, Javay, definitely check out my friend Isabella Frappier. She offers a lot of different classes. One of my favorites is Erotic Emotion, which is for women, femmes, non-binary folks who want to connect with their erotic being through sensual movement. So check it out. More information will be in the comments and in the description, and also at the link in my bio. But yeah, if you were like, I don't know where to start there. I highly recommend Erotic Emotion is a great way to like prioritize your pleasure, prioritize yourself, but also connect with like-minded individuals who are like, I want something for me. I want to do something I feel good about. That's that. But until then, happy Masturbation May. I hope that you had a wonderful time, that you embodied all the pleasure that you wanted and more, and that you got to connect with some people from sharing these videos. But until next week, make sure you like this, subscribe, and definitely check out my website. And if you have not, enter the giveaway, because literally deadline is like today. But yeah, I'm gonna see y'all next week, because next month it's Pride, and ooh, I got some things planned. But I love you. I hope that you go and create some pleasure in your day, and I'm gonna see y'all later. Deuces.